another edition of Strange New Pod. I'm your captain and host, Julian Brown, and no murder bays were harmed during the recording of this pod. I can't say the same for this episode of Picard. Just sorry, Draft. Joining me, as always, the best bridge crew this side of a slingshot around the sun. I didn't forget about the promotions that Eric gave out last week. I heard them on the show. I leave, people get promoted. Lieutenant Commander Hawk, and finally, straight back from her visit to 10 Forward, Captain Girafe. She truly is
the captain now.
Oh boy. I swear these promotions happened quicker than it took Harry to get his ensign pip. Like, come on.
And no night shift duty.
No night shift duty. I mean, technically, I guess doing the pod at 9:30 p.m. is kind of night shift. When does the night shift start is the question. That's what I want to know.
Is there really any night in space?
I mean, they still follow like a schedule, right? Like they probably...
you just have like different teams that are on different schedule. When it's night for them, it's day for you, and it's always day on the starship. They need to see around.
Delta shift,
in your
baby.
Quarters.
Delta shift.
Delta shift.
Guys, Jolan True, welcome. How we doing?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Good.
Surprisingly good.
Surprisingly good. Got that hypo spray and not feeling the effects yet. So
no, I'm all good.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Excellent.
This week threw us for yet another curveball, which is always fun. Yeah, so this was just going to be a Picard episode 203 Assimilation review, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. We will do the quick recap of what happened in Picard 203, but then there's other big news we need to talk about. This week's episode is called Assimilation. Damn, season's like really good so far, right? Picard and the crew of the Confederate La Sirena have crash landed on
It's
Earth.
So weird to say that.
Right of Earth 2024, all mourning the loss of Murder Bay, aka Elnor, while also trying to find the Watcher the Borg Queen spoke of. Plans go terribly wrong though when Rios, man, fire escapes. Those things are dangerous, man. You seen that episode of Friends with Ross and Joey? Oof, bad news. Bad news.
I'm so surprised that doesn't happen more often in
right.
Oh yeah, I have a theory, but I keep it for later.
Is it bunnies?
No, that it's absolutely bunnies. Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. He's injured during transport to LA. Also, Agnes undergoes assimilation to try and revive the Borg Queen, who kind of passes out from all the timey-wimey wibbly wobbly going to 2024 stuff. We're going to break that all down, but first, I'm probably going to put this in post, but cue that good old classic TOS music, because Paul Wesley...
Can I sing?
Yeah, sing for me.
Da, 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 da,
has
da.
been
No, I can't
cast.
sing.
You were doing good. I was getting goosebumps as none other than James Tiberius Kirk. I'm going to do that again because I said Kirk.
Curve.
Kirk.
You leave me buried alive.
Buried alive. Okay. And
That's good content.
it is good content.
Yes.
Paul Wesley has been cast as none other than James Tiberius Kirk. And on my birthday, no less. So Paul Wesley, Vampire Diaries fame, James C. Kirk, season 2, Strange New Worlds, crazy news. We're going to dig into that in just a moment because it's just been a topic of a lot of debate over the past 24 hours already. So why don't we just get right to it? Listen, Hawk, you've been here with us, right? Since day one. We've been talking about this moment since day one of the pod. We didn't expect to get this news before maybe seeing a minute of the show, but here it is. James Kirk will appear in season 2 of Strange New Worlds. How do we feel? Go ahead.
I'm feeling good about it. I know there's some who are differing in that, but yeah, I think it was in inevitability that we'd run into a young James Tiberius Kirk in that. Little surprised he's at captain status already.
Yeah.
You know, I thought we'd at least get to see him in some sort of lieutenant commander phase before that, you know, or maybe whatever led him up to the promotion to captain in that. But at the same time, you know what? They're bringing James T. Kirk in that. Paul Wesley, I'm not very familiar with him in that because, you know, I'm not a teen girl.
You're
so
not
never
the Vampire Diaries demographic.
There's shade. There's shade.
Threw a lot of shade just now.
However, he has a very familiar face, and I know I've seen him in something else. And I just can't place it right now.
He's been in other things, and he's also directed, so he's a pretty accomplished dude. So
yeah.
As for your comment about his captain, I know that the people hard at work in Trek Twitter who are awesome have already been doing the math and like when Strange New Worlds is going to take place, and we know that Kirk has been on that command, like fast track to command. So maybe this is him during his first command, possibly. You know, we'll see. I believe it's the Farragut is possibly
his first command, right?
First command. So it's interesting. Girafe, I know we've been talking and texting about this. How do you feel about the casting news and just the fact that Kirk is going to be in season 2?
I am very distraught. Very. First of all, can we just back up and realize that we had like kind of a trailer? Kinda. I mean, okay, they put like naked Spock, but that's not enough. That's not even like a real trailer. Look at Obi-Wan. That was a real trailer. So we get I know nothing about Star Wars. That's me saying that, you know. So we got kind of a trailer, and they're like, "Hey, look, we have James T. Kirk in season 2." Dude, I know nothing about season 1. You gave me nothing, and you gave me the casting for season 2. Whoa! So first of all, that it felt a little bit like, oh, some pictures leaked, so we're gonna say something. When that's not what we want. There was no hype. There was no question. We were not there yet. This is like, give me the foreplay, Paramount. Like, what are you doing? It's too fast, too quick, too. Then
wine and dine me first.
Wine and dine me. Buy me some flowers, okay?
Buy me some warp nacelles.
At least a bonbon.
Take me to the deflector dish.
So that was kind of like out of nowhere. And I didn't care a lot because it's season 2 and I know nothing about season 1. Second thing, we knew Kirk was going to show up because Captain, I want to see him boimlering around the bridge of the Enterprise. I want to see him being a nerd. I want to see him like being pal with Tilly because they're the same promotion. Like, give me Ensign Kirk, give me Cadet Kirk, give me something that actually builds the background of that character that we've been following for 60 years, and I'm not even 60. You know, and I feel like he's been around all my life. So seeing him in the captain chair being very Kirky, like, you know, all the Kirkiness, all the square jaw, the angst of it. I was like, oh, come on. We get Cadet Uhura, we get like Lieutenant Spock, and we get Captain Kirk. I was so disappointed. So I do hope there's like something else. I do hope it's like some time travel, some parallel universe, Enterprise, or something. But if they don't give a little bit of background to that character and just keep him forever being that cliche Captain Kirk badass, you know, it just, we've seen that a lot. A lot.
Yeah.
So I'm not really happy, and I have no clue who that person is. By the way, sorry, Paul Wesley. I thought Chris Pine was 50, so I'm not a reference on anything.
That's
right. But I have no idea. Everybody's like, the Vampire Diaries. So you don't even know it was a thing. So good for you. Maybe I'll watch it, but give me season 1 first, Strange New World, and then we'll talk about season 2. Yeah.
Question. You know, we obviously brought back up the Obi-Wan trailer, and the Strange New Worlds trailer was released at the same time, and obviously you know, Obi-Wan overshadowed that. Was this announcement an overreaction by Paramount in that, just to you know, kind of maybe draw a little? I'm thinking the same thing. There was really no reason for
this is This is them getting ahead of all the rumors and another outlet posting it before, because I was having this conversation with someone earlier today, and nothing is sacred anymore in 2022, right? On film sets, right? Like people who work on the shows are doing leaks, and leaks are just all over the place. And when you're on location, like these scenes are, paparazzi, everyone's taking photos. So the minute that these set photos leaked, I am sure Paramount was like, shit, this guy looks a lot like Kirk. People are going to guess it's Kirk, or they're going to start guessing it's someone else. Nah.
No. Okay. Get example on franchises that work. Like Star Wars and Marvel. When something is leaked, they still keep their program. They're like, hey, leak, go with your theories, invent stuff. Like, we'll tell you when we have built the hype and when things are happening. Like, it's so sketchy to be like, oh, there's something like, here an official picture. It's Kirk, and it's in 3 seasons. What are you doing? I don't care for that now. Give me a trailer.
I think the biggest thing is that they didn't want another outlet reporting it before they did, because it seems like that news was going to get out. That being said, I still would have rather had, let's say, the investor showcase trailer instead of a picture of Kirk. So my feelings. I said on the very first episode of Strange New Pod that I would like to see a young James Kirk show up on this show. And I wouldn't have even minded in season 2. Am I a little bit confused as to the whole captain's thing? Yeah, but if they can tell the story well and tell it right, I'm happy. Tell a right. Get
off.
You're giving yourself the button. That's incredible.
I did. Listen, I really like the casting. Paul Wesley has the look. He immediately screams Kirk. This is where I am upset, and I know that some other people are upset. They have botched and then botched some more promoting a show that is a month and a half out. We've gotten one silly teaser, and anybody you talk to will tell you the same thing, is that they botched the investor showcase trailer by not releasing it. That was a big mistake on their part. So I needed more. I needed some promo images from the first episode. I needed a better trailer. I needed more promotion before I get a text as I'm leaving to drive back home that James Kirk is going to be in Strange New Worlds. So it's like, it's this really weird feeling of like, okay, I really like this. And I have, and we're going to get to it. Like, I have theories of like why they're doing it and where it's going to go. And I don't have a problem with it. My problem is that the show's not even out yet. And like Girafe said, we have no idea what's even happening in season 1 first. Give us some room. Like, give us some time to like enjoy the show first. We wanted a Captain Pike show, and this is good. Listen, for everybody saying, oh, well, it's going to be a James T. Kirk show now. Stop it.
No.
This is a Captain Pike show through and through. That's the story we're getting. There's zero reason to do TOS over, unless I know we had some really great chats on our Discord server last night about, hey, maybe this does lead to like a campaign where they finish the 5-year mission, and that's something that could be cool, but it's not going to happen on Strange New Worlds. So I think people need to be rest assured that that's not going to happen. That being said, let's see what the hell happens, right? We don't know anything. Let's see what happens. Go ahead.
One more thing. Paul Wesley is 39.
He is 39, but he doesn't look 39. I don't.
Because I look 39.
No, you don't look 39.
You know you don't.
No, you don't look 39.
I look 39 and he looks 39. Believe me. Like,
no, you don't look 39. No, I know. But
what are you saying? So yeah, and when I say, like, like take example on franchises that work, it's not that Star Trek doesn't work, but Star Wars has been so good with promotion,
right?
Like Marvel.
Yeah.
And I do think that if that works for these franchises and with nerds, we like this, just give us the same thing, man.
Right.
And they did it great for Picard. Like, we got trailers, we got the hype, we got, look, a month before Picard, we had like 3 trailers.
Yeah.
It's a month before Strange New World, and we have like like a teaser? What is going? I'm so panicking.
Yeah. I'll tell you some news I have off mic, but I can't talk about here. But that'll yeah. I'm getting everybody right with anticipation. Let's talk about Paul Wesley a little bit more and the look. I know Giraffe, you just mentioned he's 39. He is a giant Trekkie. Which is, listen, if you're gonna have someone as James Kirk, cool that they're a Trekkie and they know what they're talking about, right? He even, it's crazy as fate is, boarded a plane with William Shatner, and the two sat next to each other on an entire flight.
I do not buy this.
Oh, I do. There's a picture of it.
No. I know it's real, but you here. When I just announced I was Captain Kirk, give me a fucking rest. I do not buy this. This is not how our airplane works. This is not how things work. This is
I've heard some crazy airplane stories, man. You'd be surprised. My other co-host on Everything Permitted, Matt, his mom was a flight attendant, and the stories he's told me about like the random and crazy shit that happens on flights, I buy it. Okay,
they were put next to each other because they happened to be on the same flight. Maybe that was.
Well, when you have money and you're flying first class, I don't think it matters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, right? Come
on. But anyway, talk about some cool fate, whether it was a setup or not. I do want to talk about his look. Does he have that Kirk look and swagger?
No.
Without being more familiar with his acting, I couldn't really say. So I'm probably gonna have to. Maybe I'm gonna have to watch the Vampire Diaries.
So, you know how Picard, it was the wild cadet that did crazy shit and got his heart stabbed and stuff, but then he's like the super serious captain, right? The Kirk is like the very serious cadet, like the nerd, but like the wild captain, and I feel he has like I'm sorry to say that, Paul Wesley, I'm gonna do like you're like listening to me, but you're not, so whatever. But he's too clean.
But I like clean. William Shatner's clean.
Yeah,
was
clean. There's a swagger. I
don't know. Chris Pine was super
clean.
Chris
Pine has like, but they have this little, like, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say PG, but but I don't know. It doesn't scream Iowa to me.
I think I don't know. I could see him working the farms. I don't know.
I mean, anyway, I'm not really interested in seeing Chris Pine, whatever. I'm so tired. I'm not really interested in seeing James Kirk anyway. So
right.
They could cast anybody. I'd be like, sure, whatever. Yeah. Any white dude, put him in his 30s, put him in the chair in yellow, and I'd be like, okay.
So maybe this is an unpopular opinion and a pretty big hot take, but I think he actually has more of the look than Chris Pine does. Like I immediately, like when I saw the picture of him in the chair, I'm like, oh shit, that's Captain Kirk. I still to this day, except for maybe in Star Trek Beyond, have a hard time seeing Chris Pine as Captain Kirk. Zachary Quino as Spock, hell yeah. Like what's his name is Bones, hell yeah. Like Carl Urban. But
definitely
Chris Pine took two movies for me to really okay, that's Captain Kirk. This guy screams Captain Kirk to me, so we'll see. Yeah, let's this is obviously like the big topic here. Like we haven't seen a single minute of Strange New Worlds. That's been the story of this podcast, right? We started this podcast, thought the show would come out a lot sooner. Pandemic hits, what the hell? We still have not seen a minute of the show. Not too much longer though. Not too much longer. So we have nothing to speculate with, though. If you had to guess, why does Jim Kirk show up in Strange New Worlds? Let's go through some of our best theories.
Wow.
You want my theories? What I think they're gonna do, or what I want them to do?
Both.
So how do they interact?
I want Kirk to just appear one episode, and be a little wink wink to the fan. I do hope he's not recurring. Like, please do that, please. And basically, something like yesterday's Enterprise, Is that yesterday's Enterprise? Yeah, where they see like, and it's another Enterprise. And the captain is Kirk, and they don't know him, or maybe some of them know him. Oh, actually, maybe Uhura knows him from the academy,
Yep.
you know. And they're like, "Well, he's captain," and you get a glimpse into like the TOS era
Mhm.
crew. It's them older, another crew, another captain. Like that'd be super fun. Like I'd be down with this.
Yeah.
But I do hope that it's just not gonna serve like I do think they're gonna do something like Disco season 2 with another ship, the
Mhm.
Farragut, and he's gonna be captain. It's gonna make no
Yeah.
sense because he's not supposed to be that old, and I don't know.
He could
He's
pull
not
off. I think
supposed
he
to know
could pull off
Pike.
20s. I think he could. I think. Well, he might not know Pike. I have a whole theory, but
He's not supposed to know Pike in the menagerie. I mean, I
I
know
know.
nobody fucking cares about Kanon and when you say, "Oh, this happened in TOS," people are like, "Ah, shut up." Why would
I
that make any
care.
sense?
I
But
care
I
about
care.
canon.
I care too. He says he only met Pike when he took command of the Enterprise.
When he was promoted to fleet
Why
captain.
are
yeah.
you gonna put him for a war season?
You
I do hope it's
don't.
not a
You
war season.
don't. We have no idea if they even meet in the show. That Strange New Worlds has such a great cast. They never need to do a single scene together, and it could still make perfect sense and be a good story. So I'm cautiously optimistic on that front that they keep that canon and they never possibly even meet. So we'll see.
That's a very interesting theory.
Yeah.
I really have nothing like to add, like theory wise, in that. Yeah, like going back in history, they must have only met the once in that. So it's got to be something that I'm hoping that it's something that draws the entire fleet out, some sort of crisis, like probably at the neutral zone.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Other than that, yeah, I'm just open to anything in that, but I don't think it's going to be like a yesterday's Enterprise situation.
No, I don't either.
No.
I don't either.
Why?
Sorry, Giraffe. I'm
I've
sorry.
been-
You might not
I've
be
been
right on this,
Can
Giraffe.
we get that? Can we get that on a
Obsessing.
t-shirt? Sorry, Giraffe.
I've been obsessing about this because, like, I don't know. I so don't want it. I'm sorry, Paul Wesley. I'm sorry. I'm a TOS fan. I love Kirk in TOS, but I don't want it again.
Can we bet some strips of Latinum though that in a year's time when season 2 hits and the Kirk episode comes, Giraffe is going to completely change her tune and like the episode.
Hey, if it's one episode and it's like kind of a candy thrown, then I'm gonna be pissed off then for like putting a whole promo before giving us a trailer 2 years before for a guy that shows up in one episode and maybe in season 4. Thank you very much. And then if it's a whole season, I am very not into having Captain Kirk. I want Cadet Kirk. I
Right.
like Kirk. I want to see Cadet Kirk. We're getting to see Cadet Hura, young Spock, and all this. Give me young Spock, young Kirk, please, please.
All right. So I've been holding this theory and not talking about it in Discord, being a good boy. So I'm gonna finally let this out. So there's a very specific reason that they showed Kirk in the chair with that badge, right? Because then if you go and look at the other leaked set photos, he's got a different badge on. Now, what we know of this era, back during that era, all ships had different logos on their badge.
Absolutely.
He has one that
Yeah.
is actually very reminiscent of the USS Constellation. So, one, he is in command of another ship. He is not going to meet Pike. If you notice the one person he's with in all of these leaked set photos, La'an Noonien Singh. Okay. Who is Kirk's worst enemy? Khan Noonien Singh. Why do we have a shot of Kirk looking like solemn in the captain's chair, but all Kirky, right, with the Enterprise badge? Very good reason. This is going to be a flash forward episode. It's going to be him on the bridge of the Enterprise with the TOS crew, and it's a flash forward. It's going to be taking place during Space Seed, okay? And it's going to reminisce like of him doing this mission with La'an Noonien Singh, and it's all going to tie together, and this is going to be the big Khan story, okay? Pike is going to, I think we'll probably get something where La'an finally turns on the crew or something happens with her, maybe incapacitates Pike. Kirk comes along. This is how they never end up actually meeting. This is all going to revolve around the Noonien Singh name.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you.
I like it because in the end, it's just one episode, so I'm happy with it.
Right. And guess what? I'm probably really fucking wrong, and I'm usually wrong. But you know what? In the grand scheme of Trek and what maybe the show is trying to do, it's the theory that I think makes the most sense. So
Laan Union Singh central episode where
Yeah.
we learn about her and what happened and her link to Khan. Yeah, that could make sense. Yeah.
Yep.
So we getting Cadet Kirk. That's what I want. That's all I want. That's what I want.
Yes.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I still don't know about the Cadet Kirk bit. I'd like to see it too, but I doubt that part. We'll see. Guys, this was a huge hot topic on our Discord last night. It was being talked about for hours. One of our Discord members, Lexi, was like, are you guys going to talk about this? Are we doing mailbag? Of course we did mailbag for this. We would not let you guys give your opinions. So with that, I will say it is time for the Subspace to Poll and mailbag.
Hailing frequencies are open.
And we asked Trek Twitter what they thought of the Paul Wesley, well, I shouldn't say Captain Kirk because we still don't know, James T. Kirk casting news. Who wants to read the numbers of what people think? Go ahead, Girafe.
Me. 73% said, beam me up, Scotty. And 27% said, this is most illogical.
Yep.
70-30.
I'm actually a bit shocked by that. I thought it would be more on the other side, judging by the conversations I was seeing on Twitter. So interesting numbers.
I think even if people are a little confused and maybe a little upset, I think they're still like the fact that they're still tying in everything, and
it's Captain Kirk. It's Kirk, right?
Captain Kirk. They're happy.
It's the most iconic captain in Star Trek history. People are eating it up, whether it's negative or positive. So I get it. We have lots of mailbag. Hawk, start us off with Jesco's.
All right. Jesco wrote, I think it has potential to be really cool and just hope that they don't make it the Kirk show, since it's supposed to be Pike's origin. But I suppose Kirk does play a large part in his story, so if handled well, it could be really cool. Just interested to see where it goes.
And go ahead and hit Lexi's draft.
Lexi wrote, I like the casting. Used to watch Vampire Diaries a bit back in the day, so I'm familiar with him. And he looks the part. Figured we'd see Kirk in the show eventually. He's too big a character for them to resist it. So I'm unsurprised, but I do think there's a lot of potential for cool storytelling with him. And seeing his early days dynamic with Spock, overall, I'm excited.
Nice. I'll take Piker Pikes. Piker Pike Road. I like Paul Wesley, good actor. He's reasonable casting for Kirk. I would have preferred a younger, less known actor. Fair. But it's the implications. I'm not too fussed about canon, as it were. Yeah. I know they'll try their best to make it fit whatever way they can. What I'm worried about is the official press release states joining the cast with no further explanation. That makes me nervous. We campaigned for this show to be a Pike's Enterprise story. Hard to argue with that. It's the whole reason we started this podcast. And no matter how they handle it, Kirk being part of it is going to distract and overshadow. I don't know if I 100% agree with that if it's done well. And you don't cast an actor like Paul Wesley with a substantial fan following they are clearly hoping to capitalize on if you don't intend to make use of him, which is also a very fair point. I think you could still use an actor like Paul Wesley if it's one episode here and then he shows back up in season 3, and then however many seasons this have, he finally does actually meet Pike and takes command of the Enterprise at the end of the show, which is what I think I also said maybe we all agreed on would be a really cool moment to end Strange New Worlds on, a handshake between Pike and Kirk sitting in the chair at the end, like the passing of the torch would be really cool. I think you could have him sporadically show up on the show and not overshadow
absolutely
Pike.
Yeah.
So but some great points in there. Yeah, that's what we hope. Some great points in there. Hawk, back to you. Can you read Buick's, please?
So Buick wrote, I'm excited for a new actor to share their take on it. Like Hamlet, James Bond, Sherlock Holmes, each new actor adds more texture to the character with their own choices. I'd love to see them fully assemble a new Enterprise crew. We've already had Spock and Uhura, and finish the original series 5-year mission.
Nice. And Giraffe hit Yum Yum Pods.
Okay, this comment had me
It's
howling.
really funny.
Yum Yum Pod wrote, can't help but think about the Simpsons gag, in which they mocked how Trek would keep drudging up the old crew and how it was outstaying its welcome. The fake film in that gag was called Star Trek 12. So very tired. And that's how we feel about the constant referencing, recasting, and overall focus on the past of the franchise rather than the future. We feel so very tired.
Again with the Klingons.
At least they gave them hair again in season 2. Just saying. I'll close it out with Havens. I've never heard of Paul Wesley before today, so I'm completely unbiased when it comes to actor. But I feel like the only reason they are mentioning him before the first episode of the first season airs, honestly, makes me worried that Viacom CBS, which is actually just Paramount now, is scared that the numbers aren't there, which you can't have numbers if the show hasn't debuted yet. So, or they're worried that the first season won't live up to the expectations that Paramount wants for Strange New Worlds. Again, I think that this all comes down to wanting to get ahead of set leaks because they're not as big as Star Wars and they want to control their narrative after a really big botch with not being able to control the narrative with the investor showcase trailer situation. So I get it. I don't think that anyone's worried about Strange New Worlds not doing well. Everything on Twitter is like, even if they don't show us another trailer when the show comes out, we're all there day one, right?
Yeah.
Like we're gonna watch the show. There's an audience, right? Like I don't think there's any problem there. And they can't be worried about numbers because they've already greenlit and filmed season 2. So that I don't think it's a numbers thing.
They could pull new people to it, like they did with Picard, with Discovery.
I agree. I agree that new people, which is why we should get more promotion. Agreed with that. Not just Trekkies. So,
and a trailer doesn't always make or break a show in that.
Nope.
If I were to have judged Lower Decks on their trailer for the first season when it came out, I probably wouldn't have watched it.
With you 100%. I was like the naysayer.
The trailer.
I was the naysayer because I hate Rick and Morty. I hate Rick and Morty. And
why is everybody obsessed about like comparing Lower Deck and Rick and Morty? Lower Deck is Star Trek.
Because Mike McMahon did Rick and Morty, and it's the same style of animation. And
it's Star Trek.
So I was really worried, and now it's like some of the best Trek out there. So I get what Hawk's trying to say. So listen, we're probably less than a year away from season 2 because I think that's going to probably come in winter. I think we're going to get that fast tracked, right? We'll probably get that before season 5 of Discovery. We don't know what's going to happen. We have to wait and see. A month and a half away from season 1, just a little bit longer. And in the meantime, if there's a trailer, if there's another teaser, we will of course be here to break that all down and have fun with that. But alas, it is time for some Star Trek Picard. And Girafe, before we actually talk about the episode, we need a report, damn it. You went to 10 Forward. How was it?
It was so cool. Okay, first of all, I have to say I'm very sorry for the crappy reporting, but I was getting drunk with cosplayers and Vulcans and Trekkies, so I could not focus on Twitter. But first of all, I have to say, very well organized, and that was 10/10. That was such a good experience. Everything was easy, from booking tickets, going there, getting in, finding your table, ordering. Everything was so smooth, and you have so much more fun when you don't have like to think about the money, the ordering, where's your drink, and like so. That first of all, I would do again any pop-up that they do because it was so fun and so well done. Beautiful, big space, like we had like so much room in between like everybody, so I was not too stressed.
Right.
And then the feeling, the atmosphere was so fun. Everybody was Trekkie. People were wearing uniforms. Some people were in full cosplay. Everybody was getting drunk. All the items on the menu were puns. So this was the hamburger.
Yes.
There was Romulan ale, and there were like so many little things you could do. So they had like this giant tent forward with the Vulcan sign, and everybody could like take picture. You had like an old phone booth, like antique, where you could see it, and people would take your Polaroid and put it on the walls. Like overall, it was just so smooth and so fun. And we took like what? Oh, and they had a gift shop. They know us so well. So yeah, the gift shop, man. So
how big a chunk of your bank account did that take out?
I kept like saying and put that and put that and
she
that,
she
and I want
she
this, and
FaceTimed me. I got to get the whole gift shop experience. It was awesome. Yeah.
I was like, "This is Stargazer," and I was with my husband, who was not a great Trekkie, so he was just here like being. Oh, is
Okay.
that Whoopi Goldberg?
Did you were you on like a strict time limit? Could you stay as long as you
Yes.
wanted? Could you order as many
No,
drinks
no.
as no?
Okay, so basically what happens, you have 3 moments where you can get in.
Okay.
So for example, the people before us started at 6:30
Mhm.
and we arrived at 8:30, so they had to go. Everything was disinfected and cleaned, and we get in. They had like this like promo wall, in
Yep.
front where you could take picture. Somebody was here to take your picture with your phone, and I was like, so then you get in and they tell you have like that long to order. At that moment, it closes and we cannot order anymore. And it was 2 drinks, two
Cool.
alcoholic drinks or not alcoholic as you wanted, and as much food as you wanted
Awesome.
for $25.
What? That's
Yes.
incredible.
Wow.
And in LA, can I
That's
just say,
fucking
do you have any
incredible.
idea how LA is expensive? $25. You eat as much as you want. It was like sliders, it was like small food, but you could
Still.
order and reorder. And 2 alcoholic drinks. And yeah, and just I met a lot of cool people. Then there were people I was like, I know you. And they're like, I know you. It's like, from Twitter? Oh yeah. So yeah, I would love them to do that more often. And it was the exact set. Like there was literally the exact same
Yeah.
pictures on the wall. The stairs you see behind me here was the exact same stairs. I took so many pictures. So yeah, it was. I hope they do it again.
Yeah.
I hope they do it more often. I'll be there. I'll buy tickets and I'll go again and again and again. And I learned after that the table next to me was a table of the writers of Strange New World.
Oh, that's so funny.
And I was like, if I had known, I would have done nothing, but I would have
Still.
felt better about it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you know what?
was-
You sell yourself short because you're like, oh, I did a bad job reporting. Well, the next day we get like an Instagram post of someone who met Girafe, and Girafe, being the awesome co-host and podcast rep that she is, like gave the person stickers and they posted about it on Instagram. So
Yeah.
you did a great job, Girafe.
Thank
well
you.
Done.
I'll do
Well
again
done.
anytime. Yay.
Well done. I'm so glad you got to go and have a good time. That looked like hella fun. So
Yeah.
great job. We're going to get to our assimilation review in just a second, but before we do, Hawk, we need to thank our Patreon Collective members at the Ready Room level and above.
Yeah. So thank you to Simon Stager, Jeff Reeve, Mariah Gossett, Jen Stein, Tina Alexander, Joe Saporito, Noe Santos, Kang Wee, Haven, Takako Nagumo, Kara Kennedy, Mark, Fernanda Nogales, SMK, Ian Davies, Amy Grace, Laura Linderman, Reasonable Stranger, Colin Davidson, Susie, Jesse Desmond, and Alan Davis.
Yay!
Thank you. Keep this pod going.
Thank you. And some of our new members, you should be receiving some mail soon. I just sent out your welcome packages. And to the people who won our Picard cheeky feckers stickers, those some of those went out today as well. So look for some mail. Guys, let's get into it. It is our review of Star Trek Picard episode 203, Assimilation. This season has just been a freaking godsend. Loving it. Girafe, I know you have some reasons at the beginning not to love it. Let's get into it. Your thoughts.
I'm so sad. I'm ready to join the Kowat Milats. I'm gonna become a murder nun.
You're gonna
Exceptional
murder this
episode.
episode with your review.
You
I
know
think she
when
liked
last
it
week,
still.
I was like, if he dies, if he doesn't, like, wait, you can't, liars, all of you liars, you should be ashamed of like giving me hope. They killed my boy, my baby.
My baby boy.
I don't have any more reason to watch that show. Like, okay, so first of all, I was really excited for the episode because it's called Assimilation. I was like, ooh, who's getting assimilated? And I had several ideas. I thought it was gonna be Elnor because I glad she could save him, you know. Then I thought, oh, it's gonna be Agnes because she keeps saying, I'm so alone, I'm so alone. Like, nobody wants me in every timeline, I'm alone. Oh, you're gonna be part of the hive. You're never gonna be alone, girl. So I thought it was gonna be her, and I was very, very close. I do think she's gonna end up being assimilated at one point or another, right? I love the fact that it's LA 2024 and LA is still such a dump. Like,
it's
when
an election
Raffi
year where
arrives
Donald
and
Trump
it's
is
like,
probably running for president. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, oh that is LA, yeah. I there are some things that didn't make sense to me, but there are some good little thing hidden that I took time to process and write and research. So there are some like good little wank, hidden in the episode. So I think maybe we're gonna speak about that later.
Mhm.
Overall, very exciting. There's so many things happening. I'm absolutely devastated that they killed Ainlor. I do hope he's gonna be back. Please bring him back.
I don't think that he's dead. I really don't.
Well, he's dead now.
Well, yes, right now he is definitely in a cooler and dead for sure. There's no
And
denying
by
that.
the way, I don't know. I didn't read the question yet. Again, I'm so sorry, but like, can we speak up? Being a bad student.
Wait.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, you're not surprised. I do that every week.
No, but you're still gonna get the button.
Can we speak of how fucking horrible was Picard to Raffi after Elnor's death? Like, the fact that he sacrifices him and that's his boy, he dragged him in this. This is like the closest thing of a kid is gonna have. And I know he wants to be strong, but when Raffi is losing her mind, it's like, she's too emotional. Bitch, Elnor just died. Can somebody acknowledge this?
I get it. I get what you're saying. I know, I do.
Thank you.
I do get what you're saying, but Jean-Luc also has really good reason to try and keep her calm and be cold and save the queen. If they don't save the queen, there's no way to get Elnor back in the future if that's what they're going to do. So I get that. As far as being like Raffi's too emotional, does she have every reason to be feeling that way? 100%. But being too emotional and then transporting to 2024 in LA leads to making mistakes. So I get trying to calm her down, because if she makes a mistake and fucks up the timeline, then boom goes the universe. I get it. Was Picard's, listen, I'm not disagreeing with you 100%. Was Jean-Luc still an unreasonable ass and didn't maybe like give her a hug and lend her some support?
Right?
Totally. But I also understand his point of view. So.
Like, yeah, but like you're taking care of a crew, right? People are gonna be messed up because somebody died.
Yeah.
And you don't blame them for that. You're like,
right.
Hey, I acknowledge and I suffer. It was my kid too,
Mm-hmm.
I saved him from the supernova. I found him at home. I'm hurting that he's gone. But right now we need to get our shit together, because if we don't, we're not bringing him back.
Yeah.
Like, this is so easy to say. Rather be like,
yeah.
she's too emotional. Shut the fuck up. I was like, I was so shocked. I was so shocked.
Go ahead.
Then,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I
no.
was gonna say, and that Raffi did have some really good points, and that when she was talking about the jousting between Q and Picard, and that, and every time that they do have their little tete-a-tetes, and that other people pay the consequences, and that. Think of their second encounter, and that, like, or actually the third one, when he transported them, like, and showed them the Borg for the first time. 14 people lost their lives,
and a whole freaking section of the ship is gone. So yeah. Sorry, Jeff. I know you're about to say something else.
No, I was gonna bitch about Rios, but I see there's a question about him, so I'll keep that for later. I was so happy that they killed Mr. First Husband. No hate to John Briones, because I really like the actor, but when Raffi shot him, I was like, die! Die! It was so good. It was so good. Thank you. And Seven fighting with heels and kicking his ass. That's the kind of Trek I'm here
Slay
for.
Queen. Slay.
Hawk,
your thoughts on 203?
This is another great episode of the season. I think the writing has been terrific, and the episode once again feels like self-contained and not just like an edit on, like, some streaming services, like, series of the way they do that. Los Angeles in 2024, it still feels like the Trump era of history in that, because I mean,
we are going to talk about that.
Homelessness has always been a problem, but on top of that, the immigration raids and that, and how dehumanizing it is, and that, not just to the people being arrested and that, but like, just the Gestapo like tactics of, like, ICE agents and that, they just seem like, it makes them seem like inhuman. That's the only wording.
100%.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a foreigner in the US, so
yeah, it's a scary prospect. I mean, like, the possibility that you're out and about one day and that you just don't have any ID with you, and that, like, if somehow I ever, like, I'm terrible at keeping like personal records and stuff like that, even like down to things like birth certificates and that. Like, I think if I was somebody who got caught up in a raid and that, like, I would be deported. And it's an easy thing, just to be a little sloppy with paperwork and, like, find yourself on a bus or a plane to someplace you've never been before. I feel like the writers have come up with this idea of that divergence is kind of based on this lack of forward progress humanity seems to be making at this very moment. Like, the world right now, it feels like we're kind of on the precipice of, like, something that, like, really terrible is happening. I mean, even before, like, look at war in Europe again.
The whole Ukraine situation.
And obviously, like, the show was made way before that happened, but even still, like, they must have, everybody still feels that tension, like, today, right? Like, we're like, no matter how far we go, we seem to be taking 2 steps back. Like, we know what the right thing is in that, but collectively we just don't bring ourselves together to make these right choices. Anyways, so Raffi and Seven searching for the Watcher. That was probably, that was some of the best bits of humor in this in this episode. And I love Seven experiencing life in that, where strangers don't want to destroy her. And they even seem to like her.
Strangers don't usually like me.
It's like this great character moment for, like, one of Star Trek's most endearing characters, and that, so I'm totally on board. Elnor's death. Very sad.
No, stop doing this. He died. They may, like, change the timeline to bring him back, but right now he's dead. They put him in a
we need to acknowledge
bag.
his death. Okay.
Yes.
Fair. Okay.
He died.
Yes, he did die, and he died very painfully and very sadly. I don't believe.
Sadly,
I
baby.
don't believe. We have not seen the last of this character in that. They wouldn't bring him back just to kill him off.
No, they would not.
And it's like, say, okay, thanks for the
unless
memories.
they did. Unless they did.
How cruel would that be?
I know.
Oh,
God.
Hey, they killed Tasha Yar, and, like, they brought her back.
Yeah, but luckily we don't have to deal with Rick Berman anymore.
Right.
True.
So Jurati interfacing and assimilating with the Borg Queen. That was a particular highlight for me. And that I love what you said earlier in that about how, you know, I kind of forgot, like, yeah, Agnes is one of the loneliest characters in existence. And that, like, you know, like, so assimilating with the Borg and that euphoria that must come with it, as Picard described, you know, where you don't even
Vote
think.
for Agnes Queen, Borg Queen
Yeah, right.
2024.
You know, and it was amazing, like, you know, with all the fear she was experiencing with the Borg Queen in the last episode, just being in the same room with her and just being chilled out, and just being, you know, I'm creeped out by her.
When
And
she
then-
crawls around,
And Jeff Russo's doing the synth version of the First Contact with the don 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 don, and I'm like, oh,
oh, that scene was like horror, like
Yeah.
perfect horror.
Yep.
It's so terrifying. Yeah.
Oh, I know. And I love it. Not only her successfully assimilating with her without actually losing herself to the Queen, she stole information out from right under her nose.
so good.
I know.
You've done something
You impressed me.
very dangerous.
I know, and
Oh.
that's it. You know, that is a very veiled threat. You know,
I
and that
love that.
there is going to be. I think Agnes has some hell coming up for her, in the next, you know, at some point in the series, and that because of that. But you know, it was great.
Yeah.
All in all, it was. The thing I like best about Picard is that, you know, like, as a show, it's like this episode felt like kind of Picard in a little bit in the background this week.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you know, and it gave everybody else a chance to shine in that, and that's kind of one of the things I really love about this. You know, like, you know, new characters are getting fleshed out more, returning characters are getting way more layers to their story is added. So great episode this week. Can't wait for next week.
Yeah. So I think people know this by now. Raffi was my least favorite character last season. After a couple of rewatches, she really grew on me. I am giving a tip of the cap to Michelle Hurd, because she is so damn good in this episode. The way that she portrays grief, and that line where she's like, I am feeling like severe disappointment and anger in leadership, and just everything she's going through is so good. The whole scene where she gets stood up by the guy, or she, you know, he's got the gunner and just like kicks his ass, and Seven's like, oh, so you're already making friends. She's like, well, he started it. Like, she's so good in this episode. And I just love her character so much more this season than I did last. I like that she's become this mama bear to Eleanor, and I'm hoping and praying that is something that we get to explore in later episodes, if he does come back. Allison Pill too, man. Like Jurati last season, not great, right? I love Allison Pill. Yeah, she was poorly, but this season, man, she has been on fire. Like, I love everything they've done with her so far. She had one of the best lines of the entire show so far, which she's talking to Rios. She's like, "You're like the kid who needs strings around his fingers." Like, I love.
Computer, show me the shit I stole from the Borg Queen.
Yes, exactly. She's also just really damn good in this episode. The whole thing, like her subconscious speaking to Jean-Luc, and that moment is like, oh, I kind of want you to be my dad, and Jean-Luc kind of like embarrassedly smiles and laughs. It's like, it's this great moment, and she does that so well. And like you were saying, Hawk, like Patrick Stewart just kind of gets like to be in the background and watch people show their craft, which is something that he loves and appreciates. Like, he is an actor's actor. He loves seeing other people be a master at their craft, and he got to kind of like be in the background of this episode and experience that. So I love that. One of the funniest moments, if you have kids, is a reference from Finding Nemo, and that is when, whose hand is this? And they go, mine. Love that moment.
I didn't connect that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then so I love this episode. I have one gripe. I loved everything with Rios in the clinic, and it's a great metaphor for what we experienced for 4 years of Donald Trump's tyranny, and we're going to talk about that more and more. But to really portray that, I really wish that all those scenes took place just completely in Spanish. I really wish, because he speaks Spanish like near the end, but I really wish that the entire time they had just spoken Spanish. I think it would have made it a little bit more realistic. You know,
I
because I
like the
really.
fact that they didn't know he was speaking Spanish.
What do you mean?
Like the doctor, she didn't know he knew Spanish, so she was
Until
talking with
like,
the other doctor, and then
right, he
code
picks it
them
up,
and be like,
right,
"Hey."
right.
So I thought it was a kind of fun. And after that, yeah, I agree. It should have been only in Spanish.
Yeah, I would have really liked that. And because I would think that maybe Rios isn't more comfortable speaking Spanish. I don't know. Like, I guess being, he's a Federation captain, they probably all speak in standard. So I don't know what his preferred language is. And the last thing I'll say, Annie fucking Wershing. Dare I say, in 3 episodes or 2 episodes of this show, you are possibly better than Alice Cridge as the Borg Queen. And that's almost not fair to say, because she's already probably had more lines and given more content. The when she goes and gives and looks at Jurati in the eyes and be like, "You've impressed me," I'm like, oh boy. Oh boy, are we in for something? She has been so fantastic. And do you know how fucking excited I am that she's going to be at Mission Chicago? I'm working on us getting to sit down with her there. So fingers crossed. We're going to try and make that happen, because we'll have the equipment there and we'd love to have her on the show. So
awesome.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Let's deep dive this episode a little bit more. Back in time, right? Via time warp around the sun, the Kirk method. What did we think about the voyage home callbacks in this episode?
I laughed so much when they started seeing like the light. I was like, "Oh, please give it to me!" Oh my god, yes, give me the LSD trip. Voyage home. They did a little bit, like a very little bit. It was very soft,
but it was there.
Like, yeah, but they could totally like smell color and
right.
You see, like the eyes. It was like kind of funny, but it was very low key. It was very, very low key.
Yeah, very much so. We didn't have like, the white
weird
white, the weird heads and that. The faceless. Yes. I thought they did it with more subtlety in this one, in that basically like time basically just starts slowly rewinding in that, like a single teardrop starts going back up in that.
It was cool to see Seven like looking up and seeing the sparks like fly back up into the ship. I thought that was a really cool moment. Little throwbacks. It wasn't like major, but it was just enough to be like, oh, whales, are we gonna get whales? Whales. Probably not. I know that you probably don't want to talk about this anymore, Girafe, but we have to. Elnor's sacrifice. All feelings aside on how we feel about this character and how much we adore him, was this the right move, or should they have found another way?
I'm gonna tell you, them killing him is depriving us from hilarious hats.
Yeah,
in 2024, because bring back the ugly Spock hats that he has in like random episodes, like in the city of the in the city
on the edge of forever,
where he has like this incredible hat, or assignment Earth, same. I thought it would have been hilarious to have him like, hide his ears and eyebrows like you see in Carbon Creeks and all that. That would have been such a cool callback. But I understand that the need to sacrifice somebody because it gives more, how do you say that? More weight,
more gravitas,
more pressure,
right?
more. Then you really need to fix all of this, because if they manage, then it's alive again. So I feel it's a way to give an incentive to Raffi. Picard has his incentive, it's Q. Rios, we still don't know what's his incentive. But we start like guessing that it's maybe, all the immigration and all this, like people being rounded up. It's gonna, hit him. And Jurati, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be assimilation. Raffi, it's Elnor. And we're missing Seven. What's her incentive? So yeah, I understand, but still, there's no more there's no more hot men that I can watch. What am I gonna do?
Wait, you don't think Santiago Cabrera's hot?
No.
Oh man, it's a
He's
good-looking
handsome.
dude.
Okay,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
he's
And I could
handsome.
listen to
He's
him
not
speak
hot.
Spanish
Oh, I
all
could listen
day.
to him
It's not
speak.
the same
Yeah.
thing. It's not the same thing. Yeah,
Fair.
you're handsome like a piece of art, you know, or you're hot like a piece of ass. It's very different.
Oh, Giraffe, I
You
love
can
you.
quote me.
Definitely will. Yeah, go ahead.
So Elnor, it wasn't the right choice. Maybe, I don't know. I think, yeah, Dress, right? Somebody needed to die in order for like the weight of all this to kind of really hit home. You know,
Mhm.
For the
I gotta
voyage
go-
home, right?
I got to go back to Q's, you know, back in Deja Q, or was it Deja Q? No, Q Hugh. And that if you can't take a bloody nose, Captain, and that maybe you should go home and crawl under your bed. And like literally in the last episode, he gave him a bloody nose. And
Oh,
that. So I mean,
hey,
the stakes are so real for this.
Can I sidetrack on that real quick?
Yeah.
As much as I'm against the whole Twitter space phenomenon, I listened to the John Delancey Twitter space he did the other day, and he was
I would've
asked
gotten in
about
on that.
yeah, he was asked about him slapping Picard, which was more of like a nasty backhand,
Oh,
and that wasn't in the script.
Kind of violence.
It wasn't in the script.
really?
John
Yeah.
Delancey came up with that, and they liked it, and they kept it, which I think is really cool. And the way he explained that was, I'm not hitting you because you're annoying me. I'm hitting you because you need to shut the fuck up and listen to me. Yes, I have skin in this game. Yes, there are stakes this time. You need to just
I'm
shut
not
the
playing.
fuck up. No, I'm not playing.
I'm not
I'm here
playing.
to
Yeah.
help you and give you a little bit of an olive branch on how to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
But you need to listen to me. And I really liked the way he explained it. I thought that was a cool moment, going back all the way to 202. Well, not all the way, an episode ago. But anyway, sorry, continue.
I think that's it. Yeah. I just, you know, the whole thing hit me in that, you know, it's like there is weight there, you know, they all have skin in this game and that, and it's like the stakes are very real. And, you know, Elnor's death, was it the right call? I don't know. It's definitely not the last we've seen of him. So, you know, I think we're definitely going to see him sooner than like, you know, when they actually, you know, find the Watcher and fix this, like, you know, whatever is happening in the past.
They need to develop his character, because so far they have not. As much as I like Elnor, they have not given him a backstory that's really strong. They have not explained his link to Picard. He's here for being lost and being nice and being, you know, and being a badass, but we don't know him.
He's still a blank slate. I mean, like at this point in his life, this is when he starts developing his backstory, you know?
Yeah. Totally agree. Let's talk about Rios, because through no fault of his own, transporter malfunctions do happen. Not necessarily malfunction, just poor spacing. Creates a big problem when his transport does nearly kill him. The episode ends with a scene that, listen, we're all too familiar with after 4 years of Donald Trump in office, and seeing in the news almost every day about kids in camps, and you know, just how horrible ICE and the deportation services are in this country. Him and this doctor who help him are detained by ICE officers at the end of this episode. What do we think about those scenes and the clinic and that ending, and just like showing us what, you know, 2024, even though it's already happening in 2022, like how much worse that could get in 2024. I know it's
an enormous topic, but yeah, as I was saying earlier, in that it feels like the writers are looking at our society and saying, like, you know, if we don't make a change now in that, in the way we treat our, you know, our basic treatment of each other, and that, then, you know, we're heading towards a future that looks more like the Confederation than it does the Federation. You know, and I don't know.
I didn't care much for it, to be honest. Like,
Really?
Past Tense did it way better in DS9, and it was kind of like half-assed, to be honest. It's like, oh, they're gonna speak Spanish and we're gonna throw ice at them. I was like, come on. Like, I don't know. It was a bit easy, and I didn't like that whole, I lost my insignia. Oh, I fell from the balcony.
I
don't know.
didn't mind the fall from the balcony, but I did have a little bit of a problem with the I lost my badge trope because that happens so much in Star Trek.
And can we just like stop a minute and see how much punch they get in the face all the fucking time? They get thrown around in a spaceship. They get like pieces of metal. Rios had a pieces of metal in his shoulder the first time we meet him. He falls from what, like half a story, and he's like knocked out for like a full day.
No. That was like
It was
2 or 3 stories and hit his head right on a fucking metal bar and then face planted on concrete.
Okay, but I have a theory. Like, I think
there's
the
inertial
Borg Queen,
dampeners on starships.
No, I think the Borg Queen messed up the transporter. She wants him off.
That's a very interesting theory. I like it.
That is
like why suddenly there's too much like it was a mistake, there was a problem. Like, we're not having transporter malfunction since like the motion picture. Come on. Not to like bring back bad memories, but I do think she messed with the transporter, and she wants him off because maybe he's the only one that can reclaim the ship.
Oh, he did point a gun at her head. And
he pointed a gun at her, so she wants him off. And she's too smart to kill him directly, so accident. Then
wait
I
a
don't
second
know.
Wait a second though. She couldn't have. She was completely unconscious.
She pre-programmed something. She knows what they're gonna do.
Maybe.
Like, the Borg Queen has like agenda in an agenda in an agenda in an agenda. She sees time.
Fair.
Like, so I hope it's something a little bit more, malicious and insidious than just because there was too many and when there's too many like bad luck in a story, I'm just like, look, my life is bad luck already all day long. I don't want to see that in Trek. I don't know. I didn't actually, when I watched it, and I told you, I'm not into Rio's story in that episode. Like, not at all. I think the best moment was he was eating the peanut butter.
Oh,
biscuit.
the cake with the kid. Yeah.
Because it's like giving me a plus in a theory that I always had, that food sucks in the future because replicator are not giving you real food. And thank you, Star Trek, for proving that. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's because, I'm a foreigner here, and like ice is a very real thing.
Right. You don't want to be reminded of it.
That's fair. Yeah. No, it's not that I don't want to be reminded, but it's actually worse than that. For me, it was kind of like a bit too nice. So I don't know. Okay. I was not into it. Let's see next episode.
Yeah, agreed. Let's get back to Allison Pill and Annie Warshing, because I feel like they absolutely just stole the episode and stole the show this week. They both put in great performances during the whole assimilation scene. Later we found out that Jurati had the fucking balls to play the Borg Queen. Didn't just play like a drone. She straight up stole information from the Borg Queen. What do we think about that moment and those moments when she's under?
Go.
Yeah. What more do I say? I don't know what else to say about it. Like, she basically stole from the Borg Queen and that, and nobody takes from the Borg Queen and that. The Borg Queen takes from everybody else, the millions of civilizations that she's enslaved and assimilated, conquered, destroyed, and that. And the weakest character from season 1 steals the information right out from under her, and like just takes it. I mean, like, it's gone from her memories, yep. Which is, it's not just like copying, and it's not copy and paste, and that it's actually stealing. And that I can't even get my head around that.
When Annie Warshing's like looking around, she's like struggling to find it, and that shock on her face is just incredible. It's like great acting, like great physical acting.
It's gone, and it kind of makes sense. And that that an AI specialist, and that would be the only one who could successfully assimilate and take hands down, to both of them. They're both great actresses. You know, they both brought something really great. Like, you know, and yeah, Annie Wersching as the Borg Queen has been fantastic in that. You know, I mean, Alice Krieg was always, you know, like it had that kind of cold, a little sliminess to her in that, you know, in that. It's nice to see the Borg Queen interact, and you even throw in a few colloquialisms and that into the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you know? What do you bring to the table, Picard?
I'm so glad they finally gave Alison Pill something to work on. We kept saying she's such a great actress. Her lines sucked. Her stories suck. I mean, our characters suck. And finally, she is smart. She is the smartest of them all. Like, let her do something. I really thought she was going to end up assimilated.
And she still could.
So
it looks like they could go that way, right?
Yeah. But yeah, it was great acting. It was a great moment, a great tension. Like everything in that scene. Like, I just want to watch this next episode. I want to see more. And that's great. But I did some research. So
okay.
Oh yeah. So at the end of when she's like, "Hey, computer stop." I'm sorry, I have a one in my on my bridge. It gives her a set of coordinates where the watcher is. So I listened very closely. I wrote down the coordinates and I looked up the coordinates because I'm that kind of person.
I love it.
Because
that's so
you
smart.
may know that I had this crazy theory that the watcher was Mestral from Carbon Creek. I've been harassing everybody about it. But it was like, it's Guinan. I was like, yeah, I know it's most probably Guinan, but wouldn't that be cool that it's Mestral?
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, I mean, it's not far off. I mean, the trailer shows Vulcans there and that.
Yeah, but I think that I do think that the Vulcan on the trailer is Sarek, because he really looks like the guy that played Sarek in the Search for Spock.
No, in Final Frontier.
Final Frontier. Thank you. In Final Frontier, like, he really looks like him. So I think it's Sarek that comes to Picard when he's young to like clean the aftermath of whatever happened to his mother. We're going crazy giraffe theories here. Take notes.
I love them.
So something happened to his mom. He saw too much. Sarek comes down, wipes his memory, and that's why like things starts flashing. And I'm pretty sure it's Sarek. I love for Mistral to be here, but Star Trek is not going to.
Where are the coordinates, Giraffe?
Yes. Sorry. So the coordinates are in Carbon Creek. No, I'm kidding. It's actually, I'm pretty sure I heard it right because it's exactly in between two houses at a number of a street that doesn't exist, and it's 1050 Kagawa Street in LA. It's near Canyon. Like, you can check the address, and it's exactly when I tell you exactly, it's the spot is exactly on the line between the two houses, 1052 and 1048 or something like this. So I was like, okay, that's the right coordinate, but it's in LA. And I wonder, I need to watch closer, but when they see something appearing, so that blue dot, Raffi and Seven, I need to check if it's the same place on the map. I need to try this to see if it matches. And other thing, at the beginning when they crashed the ship, I was like, there's a set of coordinates on the LCARs, and so I entered that set of coordinates to know where they crashed the ship. You want to guess?
La Barre, France, or not La Barre? It's the chateau.
Well, he said like, I'm taking you home, and I was like, he crashed in France. So I looked up the coordinate. No, it's in LA. And the thing that is super funny, it's not very far from Vasquez Rock, like 15 minutes away, and it's right in the middle of a vineyard.
Oh.
So today they found most probably the only vineyard you have, like not very far from LA, near Palmdale, and it's like right smack in the middle of a vineyard with a house and so on. So there was like some like kind of like fun like little. Yeah.
Nice. Anything else, guys, or are we going into the rating of this one? Let's rate it. All right.
Yeah.
Out of 10 peanut butter cookies that Rios oh so enjoyed.
9.5.
Okay.
And it could have been very, very, very lower because they killed Murder Bay.
The fact that you gave it a 9.5.
Yeah.
Well
It
done.
was a good episode.
It was.
It hurt me, but it was good.
As good episodes of television do.
I gotta agree. 9.5. It was a solid episode, and there's so many throwbacks. So past tense, Future's End Part 1 and 2 from Voyager. So
it's a building episode. It's a 9.5. It could have been a 10. But it's a building episode. It gets the job done. It's a great episode. I've been wanting to say this since we got the screeners weeks ago. These 3 episodes already have made up for the entire first season of Picard, which is a pretty incredible thing to say. They've been so fucking good. So I'm so happy. That's gonna do it. Another show in the books, another episode, so much news, so much Picard. I will say, if you are listening to us on Thursday, right after this episode drops, then join us later tonight for our live breakdown and review show of the Star Trek Discovery season finale, Coming Home. That's at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time on Twitch. It's going to be a hell of a ride. That is all I'll say. Man, can't wait to do that. Obviously, if you are not listening to this live on Thursday after it drops, both of these episodes are available via your favorite podcast player, YouTube, wherever you want to find it. So all that fun stuff. So I will say, for Hawk, for Girafe, I'm Julian. Jolan True. Live long and prosper. Majram, and good night.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.